Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Did you miss last week? Did you miss my interview with Jeremy Pope? Good dude. I've had him and his partner on now, Jason Cannigan. They run a cool business helping entrepreneurs get great salespeople. And they have a unique way of making that happen. I've already referred them some business, and the client thanked me publicly for the referral. So they're not for everybody. They're on the high end insofar as pricing goes. But hey, as long as there's an ROI, right, it's better to invest more than you wanted than less than you should. And when it comes to salespeople, you have to get that right. There's a guy named Bradford Smart, and he wrote a book. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank on hiring, specifically salespeople. And they've calculated that hiring the wrong salesperson can cost like 3 to 5 times their salary, primarily because of opportunity costs. You know, you're not closing deals you should be closing when you're training somebody. And if they're the wrong person and you keep them on board 6 months to a year, you know, how many deals have they lost for you? So you need to invest in bringing on the right people. And Jeremy and Jason have a great business in helping you do that. Coming up after today's episode, we have Jesse Halleck. Very interesting. He's actually an employee. He's a salesperson at Infusionsoft. But he's back as an employee on purpose after creating a huge multi-million-dollar international business. So you will want to hear how he got started, how he built it, and why he's no longer with that company, and why he's back in a sales role. I had no idea. So you're in for a treat with him. Today we have Tony Lucero. We'll get into our story. I've known Tony for many years now. He's an entertainer. He's an entrepreneur. He's a speaker. He's a consultant. He's a smart businessman, Air Force veteran like me. We both grew up just a few miles from each other, but we never knew each other out in Southwest Houston. But you're in for a treat with Tony. And keep mentioning the Make Every Sale course. It's my signature course. I'm putting all my energy behind this bad boy. MakeEverySale.com. Lifetime access. Weekly live calls. 41 plus videos on demand. Templates. Spreadsheets. Boilerplate contracts. Man, I don't know what else to do to help you make every sale. So avail yourself of that opportunity. Would you please? MakeEverySale.com. Now, let's bring on our guest, Tony Mojo Lucero, all the way from, I don't know, about an hour from me here in SoCal. Welcome to the Sales Podcast, man. How the heck are you?
Hey, Wes, I'm doing great. I'm actually not close to you anymore. I'm in the Midwest now.
Did you go back to Nebraska?
I'm moving. I'm mobile, man. I got to keep moving.
Goodness gracious. Look, the cops are going to find you. Just stay still, okay? Just, you know, you did the crime, do the time. All right, just own up to it, man.
All right, I will. I'll slow down so they can catch me, but they're going to be really clever to catch me.
All right. Well, we're going to do a reverse IP lookup from where you're calling in from, and I mean they'll probably be there before this interview ends. So you know, make sure you have clean underwear.
You're coming in garbled, Wes.
We have solar flares. We have interference. Oh no, we've lost the signal. You ain't right.
It's good to hear you, man.
So it's so crazy. I met you years ago here in SoCal. Turns out you and I are both from A-Leaf, Texas, baby. H-Town suburbs. We were too good for H-Town. We had to live in the burbs.
Yep. Go Bears. Go Bears.
Then we both joined the Air Force.
Yes.
And then we end up connecting in SoCal. What a small world, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I guess we're meant to be together is what they say. We were
meant to be, and then you leave me, and now I'm heartbroken.
I know.
All right, but I know you'll be back.
For sure.
You're like Arnold. Tony will be back.
The sun's calling me. The California state's calling me, for sure.
So, man, you've had this crazy life. I guess that's a good way to put it, huh?
Yeah, it's been, for those that have ever, would attempt to follow me, people would be saying, my gosh, what's he up to next? I mean, where are you? What are you doing? Oh my gosh, how is it possible? Yeah. So it's been a very interesting gosh, I'd say the last probably 30 years of my life, without giving my age away.
Yeah, I know you're 47 years older than me, and I'm not even really kind of sort of 47. So yeah, that makes you kind of old.
Yeah, I'm old.
So, man, give us the thumbnail sketch of Mojo, shall you? And then we'll dive down the rabbit hole. I mean, you were in the Air Force, and now you're a successful entrepreneur, traveling the world. What kind of happened in between there?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I joined the Air Force right out of high school, I was 17 years old, didn't know what I wanted to do. My mom was raising 3 kids by herself, and I didn't want her to have that responsibility to raise me. I figured I'll do the responsible thing, and college was not it. I was not really good in school. I kind of figured that out really soon. I think high school for me, it was a social experiment more than anything else. And went to the Air Force, and I realized after I put my name on the piece of paper and they told me to show up at a certain time, wearing a certain thing at a certain place, that I probably was not going to be very good being a follower. So when I got out after 5.5 years, I kind of ventured into the path of entrepreneurship, sales. I always had the gift of gab. And my first job out of the Air Force, I sold Kirby vacuum cleaners, which for me was like a huge eye-opening thing for me, because I discovered a lot about myself, going door to door, knocking doors, and being a dirt-sucking salesman. You get to discover a lot about yourself. And I did that for a while, got an education in truly cold calling, and from there kind of developed that skill, got involved in becoming like a sales trainers, and I did a lot of hiring for companies, a lot of training for companies, and just kind of stayed on a path where I never have had a salary-based income. I was always like, hey, don't fence me into that. I want no limits. If I'm going to do the work, if I'm going to do the good or whatever, I want to be compensated for it. So I've always kind of gravitated in that space. And gosh, when I was 21 years old, I kind of found out about this direct sales industry thing and how you could earn this thing called residual income. And so I kind of just dabbled in direct sales for, the next 15 years or so. Not tremendous success, but for me, it was about the experience and the personal growth and the personal development and all the things I was learning before I could earn. I had to learn things before I could earn the type of income that I always used to read about in the direct sales space. And so I kind of dabbled in direct sales, and then lo and behold, one night, some twist of fate happened. I ended up in Las Vegas and to see a comedy show on hypnosis, a hypnosis comedy show. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting down with the guy that was on the stage doing the show. We became best friends. He taught me everything he knew. And for 10 years, I became a comedy stage hypnotist. So it's like, 180-degree turn, plus a 580, plus a 270, plus another 180-degree turn.
Hold on. I got to get my protractor out. Okay, carry the one,
Yes.
Oh, dang, this is advanced math.
Yeah, it's like I'm spinning around, going one path, so became a hypnotist for 10 years and one of the top 3 hypnotists in the country, and learned a lot about connecting with people, a lot about languaging and NLP and hypnotic language and all this wonderful stuff, which has actually helped me in my business, which I still do today, which is still involved in direct sales, but now I'm kind of moving on to what I call the activation part of my life, which is I help people get activated. Not so much mentoring and coaching, but I'm creating a whole new industry called activation. So I'm going to find people and I'm going to get them activated so they can discover how great they are. So that's kind of in a nutshell. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of failures along that path, but I think everything happens for a reason, and I love the fact that I get to fail because I get to grow from that. And it's funny I just said that word because I just posted a profile picture on my Facebook page a couple days ago, and I'm wearing a hat that says #fail on it, so kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, failure is important, right? But I mean, we're so afraid. It's beaten out of us in school. I mean, get one question wrong, right? Well, you failed. And it's like, no, I didn't, jerk. I got a 96, and you call that a failure?
Yeah.
It's like we're afraid to make any single mistake. So by the time we come of age, right, we're just supposed to sit in a cubicle and, stand up when the bell rings, sit down when the bell rings twice, leave when the bell rings 3 times, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think of all the things that I really sucked at growing up. All the times that people told me no, or all the times people said it's not going to work, all the times people said that's crazy that you're doing it, and people say that's the wrong way to do it. I think about all those instances, and I think about where I'm at in my life right now, and I'm grateful for those. It's like I welcome the idea of, running into something and going, whoa, and taking a step back and going, okay, what am I not seeing? What do I need to see? How can I, with what I know, or who can I surround myself with to change that or fix that or make it better? Or what can I learn from that? And so for me, it's been part of life. And when I had a stepfather when I was a kid my mom was married 5 times, right? So the guy that raised me, which is the most influential time of your life from the time you're about 5 to 11, this guy told me every day that I was silly, that I would never amount to anything, that you're going to fail, you're crazy, don't even try, I don't even like you. That's what my stepfather told me. So, I at a young age kind of was able to tune that out and say, well, kind of, I'll show you, or I'll find a way. And so I always looked for a solution, not the problem. And I think that's what failing does for people. It allows you an opportunity to find a solution. And a lot of people get locked in, they woe is me, and they, give up and throw in the towel and, and just settle in. And entrepreneurs, we don't settle in. We're always looking for something to tweak, to fix, to improve upon,
How do you balance like finding something to fix versus going deep on, like maybe you found something, right? I mean, you built a big business because you did go deep, but how did you know that was the right time, the right platform to go deep? And then how do you keep the shiny object syndrome, going, right? Like, how do you stay deep on the right thing, but still stay curious and dabble in others and keep those in check?
Yeah, that's actually a deep question, Wes. Hey. That's like a deep one. What it is I have a belief system, and a lot of it boils down to who I am and what I believe. And I have this ability to listen to my heart. There's probably a song in there, listen to my heart. But I have the ability to listen to my gut, follow my heart. And I put myself in an environment where the people that I associate with myself with on a daily basis are people that are much better and much more skilled than I am with regards to different aspects of their life, whether it be finances, money, their lifestyle, whatever. So the people I've surrounded myself with, not only have belief in myself, but I have belief in them. And so it doesn't matter what's happening outside of this belief circle that I've created, the shiny object, like you said, the next best thing, the next big thing, or, maybe if it's something that happens, is I call upon this circle and I call upon myself and I check in. I go, is this the right thing we should be doing? And if my heart tells me it is, or my gut says it is, I then ask the question of my peers or my mentorship group. And if they're on alignment, then we just figure out a way. And so I think, number one, it starts with us as individuals. You have to have that belief so deep inside you that what you're doing is the right thing. And then when something does happen, you'll figure out a way to handle it, right? As long as you stay true to that. A lot of people question themselves. And so when something happens, when there's friction, when there's a wall, if they're questioning themselves, they're very easy to jump and do a 180, 270, 360 and go a complete different direction because they don't want to face it. And the beauty in entrepreneurship is when you believe in something strong enough and you have the right team and the right vehicle and the right people behind you, you'll plow through that thing. You'll plow through the next hurdle. Our company has been through a lot in 12 years. I mean, my wife and I have done over $314 million, just our team. But I'm going to tell you, Wes, we hit a lot of walls and we had a lot of people doubting us. We had a lot of stuff happen that we could easily said, you know what, we're done. That's it. But my belief system in what I'm doing to make the world a better place will fight through all that. It's a deep embedded internal thing. And when you believe strong enough in something, magic happens.
Right. Well, and having the right team too, surrounding yourself with people, because everybody in general, what is it? It's the crab theory, right? When the crab tries to climb out of the bucket, the other crabs grab them and drag them back down.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say you've had to say goodbye to a lot of people you thought were friends?
Oh gosh, that's probably the most difficult thing on my path that I'm on, right? So my path to become a better version of myself every day is that I leave a lot of people behind. They don't understand. They can't keep up. they're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So if you're not willing to go along for the ride and the journey and become a better version of yourself, eventually you're going to be shrapnel. You're just going to fall by the wayside, and I might readdress or come back around years later, or maybe in a different place, and you want the growth, you want to experience more, and then maybe at some point again we get back together, we reconnect. I don't know, but yeah, I've left a lot of people, not in a bad way, not in a malicious way, just that just people grow apart from things. We grow apart from things that we thought that we loved, and we do something else and we love it more. When I was a hypnotist, I loved being a hypnotist. I loved traveling around the world and doing shows and having, thousands of fans show up, at a comedy club and to see me do my thing that I truly, truly loved. But what happened was I started not falling out of love with it. I just found love in something else. And so I took that experience of 10 years and I applied it to the new thing that I'm doing. And the new thing I'm doing right now, I'll probably at some point want to change that and go into the next big thing that I love. And that's the beautiful thing about our lives, is we have the ability to make choice to do that all the time. Right. And people will pop into your life to help facilitate it, and away you go. So you gotta keep moving. You just can't settle in. And the majority of people, they just settle in. And I don't think your audience is like that. I think your audience that listens to you are people that are on a path of something, and they're looking for something. And so those are the people that change the world.
Right. So I want to shift gears a little bit, because you're talking about being an entertainer and hypnotist, and something I'm rereading one of Dan Kennedy's books, Make Them Believe, and he talks about this guy, Dr. John Brinkley, man, in Kansas, like in the early 1900s. He was running ads. He was a fake doctor, but he bought the name, bought the title. But he was the early version of Viagra, except he was convincing men that he could transplant goat testicles to cure erectile dysfunction.
Wow.
And he built a big business on that. But what Dan Kennedy is talking about in the book is that the importance of promotion, right? You got to make yourself bigger than life. And so you did that with the Mojo Master and the Mojo Mystique. And, you say you were one of the top 3 hypnotists. I don't know, man. I thought you were number 1. We saw you so many times, laughed so hard. But you mastered, owning the moment and being bigger than life. Can you shed some light on how you did that, and how the quote unquote, everyday entrepreneur, the average entrepreneur, can make themselves larger than life? Because I think that's our number one failure as business owners, is that maybe we're too modest, we're too humble, we play too small, and we're not getting on top of the mountaintop, right? And shouting from the rooftop, hey, look at me, you need to come to me because, I'm the best place for you to spend your money. And you did a great job of that in that one business. Can you shed a little light on that?
Yeah, this is really interesting, because this is a question I've gotten actually quite a few times, different times in my life, is how were you able to do what you did? And you guys, it's all about branding, right? So branding. Each of us, here's what I believe. I believe you, me, everybody in the world right now has a best-selling book or major motion picture. Their life could truly be that. And I just discovered what my talents were. I know what my skill set is, and every day I play in that sandbox. I play with my skills, which I know I'm a good speaker, I'm an empowerer, I'm a good listener, good communicator, all those wonderful things, right? So anything outside of that, I'm not good at. So for me, when I made the decision to, let's just do the hypnosis thing. When I made the decision to do the hypnosis thing, I knew that I loved being on stage. I knew that I had a comedic side to myself. I knew all these wonderful things. And I knew that I could brand myself as something. And the cool thing about social media today is you guys, we can all be an expert in anything we want. Wes, you're an expert in your field. You've honed in, a niche market. You have the skill set. You've surrounded yourself with the team, the environment to be able to do what you do. All of us have that. Whether you're a mechanic, you can label yourself as Dan the Mechanic and have a creative following. create a brand. Who are you? Is a question you have to ask. You better look in the mirror and go, who is Tony? What am I good at? What are my talents? What are my skills? What are my assets? What are my attributes that I bring to the world? How do people see me? And you can build a whole brand just around that. Well, Tony, you're funny. You're this. Gosh, you're a hypnotist. So you mess with people's heads. You put people in a good mood. So in that, I created this brand. And I've taken the idea of the word mojo literally came from me sitting down as a hypnotist going, okay, who am I going to be? Like, how am I going to be different than every other hypnotist out there? First of all, I did my research on all the other hypnotists, and they all aesthetically, when you saw them, they looked the same. The black jacket with the weird look on their face and pointing at you on their, just kind of, I don't want to say cheesy, but I didn't want to be that guy. So I said, okay, who am I? And the word mojo came up because I thought about myself. Again, I did an itemization of all my skills, and I said, well, geez, on this. Man, I got a lot of mojo. It's like everything's just happening. So I said, you know what? That's it. I'm going to brand myself as this mojo, right? So people are going to know me as Mojo. And in fact, I even visualized Wes people, chanting my name, going, Mojo, Mojo, before I would do a show. And lo and behold, I'd go to a show and people would be chanting that in the audience. So it was all the belief in me. And then what do I bring to the table? Am I the best sewer? Am I the best speaker? Am I the best this? Am I the best mother? And you can brand yourself right now. But the thing you need to brand yourself is with something that you're extremely passionate about. You don't have to be an expert above experts. You just have to be passionate about it. There are guys that are passionate about Jeeps, and they've got millions of followers, and all they talk about is their Jeep. But they're passionate about it. What is that drives you? What are you passionate about? And you can build a brand around that, but you have to do the work, or I call it the good. You got to do the good, which is you got to itemize who you are, all your skills, all your talents, what you love to do, how people see you. And in that piece of paper, if you do the work, you're going to see something pop off that piece of paper. Like, oh my gosh, I should be a teacher. Oh my God, I'm going to brand myself as the best teacher in this, or the best person in that. And it just has stuck with me now. Every time I go on and do a business, like, for example, our nutrition company that we have right now, is I wanted to create a culture, kind of a Mojo-esque culture, where people that joined our team, Team Mojo, that they joined just because the name, everybody knows that Mojo's like, things are just happening for you. Mojo's working. Everything's good. Everything's on cruise control. And so people join our culture with the idea of maintaining or finding or discovering their mojo. And it's just beautiful. So find what you love, what you're passionate about, your skills, your talents, and in that you're going to see something. And that's something, you need to go for it.
Right. Was it hard? Was it hard to toot your own horn? Did it come natural? Was it necessary? So you just became good at it?
The hardest thing for me to do, in fact, I just have a website that I put up recently in the last month, and is to write about myself. It is really difficult to go, Tony is this, Tony is that, Tony. So I have to draw upon other people to help me with it. But yeah, it is. But you know what? People love to talk about themselves. I mean, the most wonderful conversation somebody can have, or the most wonderful thing they can hear, is their name and get to talk about what they're passionate about, whether it be their kids, their job, their hobbies. So I just have to put myself in a state where I'm writing this about myself. I'm talking about myself because I want others to feel a certain way. I want others, when they come to my show, if I say, hey, I'm this, when you come to my show, here's what's going to happen. I want them to have an experience. So I have to be able to talk about myself, but it's not in like, look how great I am. It's more like, I am blessed to be doing what I'm doing, and I want to share that with you. I want to share myself with you. And you do that. You come from a place from sharing and a place from serving. Like, I never saw dollar signs in anything that I do. When I do something I love, the money is a byproduct of doing that of what I love. So whether it was a hypnotist, the money just came in. I mean, my nutrition business, I love watching people have transformation, so the money just comes in. My new coaching business I'm doing, I love mentoring people and watching people have breakthroughs and activate their lives. The money is just a byproduct of doing that of which I love. So I guess I have to love writing about myself and love talking about myself to encourage others to want to participate with me. And in that, I can do what I love to do, which is to serve them.
Right. Very cool. You mentioned Empower, and I'm going to have to pull up the old logo of the Empower NAR that we were working on.
Oh my! You still have that? That's.
I have the logo, and I'm looking for the photos. I got them, I think, on Flickr, where you're dressed as the Rastafarian on my back, and I'm dressed as the sales reverend. Remember those pictures?
Oh, no, I don't. Through hypnosis, I was able to block out a chapter of my life, and that's.
What do you mean? Hanging out with me is you got to block it out? That ain't right.
Yeah, but I'm on your back, though, buddy. I'm on.
It was. Wow, that's hilarious.
Awesome. We got to do something like that again because it's time. It's time for the world to be empowered and entertained at the same time.
I know. So I'm kind of excited to hear you're getting back into some of the coaching and training. We're gonna have to bust out the outfits, man. We were gonna be in persona, right? We're gonna have a little change of wardrobe throughout the session. Oh yeah. I will dig them up.
You got a really good memory, yeah. So yeah, we were going to stimulate everybody's senses through taking them on a journey of self-discovery, right? I love it.
That was awesome. All right, man. So what are you doing now? So you're launching a new website. You're launching. Are you going after like the corporate world? Is this one-on-one coaching? What are you doing?
It's a combination. So here's what I discovered. I spent all of last year. I'm now 50 years old. 50 years old, and 51 in September. And wow. And I figured I've been asking myself the question. I'm sure you have, and I'm sure people that listen to this have. Sometimes we wake up and we go, "Is this it? What else is there? What should I be? What is my purpose? What do I really, really need to be doing?" I started asking myself that question about a year ago. And I pretty much took a time off from our business, and I just kind of started traveling the world. I bought a big old RV, and I just started going across the country, pulling my Jeep and my dogs, and my wife, and my son. And then I went to Peru a couple times and went over different places around the world. And I just kind of got touched by a lot of different people and really in touch with myself. And I realized everything that I've done, Wes, when I go back to selling vacuum cleaners, to all the direct sales stuff, that I did at the beginning, all the speaking, the coaching, the training, the hypnosis, everything I've done has led me to this chapter right now in my life. And I have to take all of my experiences and all these wonderful things that have happened to me, bottle them all up, and now I can literally do what I call activate, which is take somebody. I'll just take you, for example. Wes, you're going through life and like, I don't know, I want to make more money. My relationship's this. I don't have that. I'm unsatisfied at work, whatever. I would be the person that would help you kind of rearrange and restructure your life and put in things that would add, raise your spirit. Just kind of take your life where it is and help remove blocks, have the light shine through is the best way to do it. There's a light in all of us. So have that light shine bright. How do you do that? Well, you got to rearrange some things. You got to take out stuff. I call taking out the trash. You got to take it out. And then you got to add stuff to it that adds flavor to your life. And then you compound on top of something else. And eventually what you have is somebody that's on a path. And once you have somebody on a path and they see the path in front of them, magic can happen. So I'm taking everything I've learned in the last, 35 years or whatever from a business perspective, and I bottle it up, and I'm basically going to be an activator. So I take somebody and I activate them. I take companies, small ones, big ones, and a group of people, they're leaders or whatever, and I teach them these things that are not what you really would read in a book, not what you would really experience at a seminar. These are a lot of the stuff that I do when you talk about activation is more internal. And I believe the reason why people have success and the reason why people don't have success is the amount of belief they have in they can become successful. And they got to get rid of all of the garbage associated with making money. Wes, do you believe there's people that don't want to make money because they don't want to pay taxes or they don't want to pay more taxes? It's like, where did that thought come from?
Right.
So when you have these disbeliefs and you have all these preconceived things that may or may not even be true, you've got somebody that's kind of in a holding pattern. So I am like air traffic control, and I'm going to remove that person from the holding pattern, and I'm going to land the plane for you. That's what I do. And so my best work is done with a group of small people not only from a motivational side, delivering a message, but then actually going in and finding out who the people that are ready for activation, discover how great they are, maybe not see something they're not seeing. So it's a little bit different, and it's a lot of fun.
Can people do this on their own, or I guess it's kind of like golf lessons. So we can kind of teach ourselves, but is it better? Is it faster? Is it more effective to have an outsider looking in and pointing us in the right direction? Yeah,
we humans have blind spots, Wes, and you've seen me play golf, and I see my swing is a blind spot. So it's like I need somebody that is knowledgeable, that is an expert. I would consider myself. I've done beyond my 10,000 hours in this arena. Right? I've done the tens of thousands of hours.
And we're back now that you paid your internet phone bill. I told you the police are going to find you. Okay, so they're going to cut this off soon. So you got to get to the meat of it. All right.
Here's what's crazy is this happens all of the time. My energy, Wes, is off the charts. Lights come on, lights come off.
It just makes computers shut down. It shuts down the whole internet.
Dogs start barking, F on 7, So, but I believe I was talking about, the 10,000 hours. I was, I've done my 10,000 plus hours in this space, and somebody that has a trained eye or can identify these blind spots and show you things you're not even aware of. I mean, show you things that, through conversation, through dialogue that you don't even see. It could be an attitude. It could be anything. I'll share a quick story. When I was selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, we had a guy that was always in the top 3 sales in the office every single month. And he was in a rut, got in a rut. And I was having a degree success. And so they asked me to watch this guy and see if there was anything that I could identify. And I went out on some demos with him, and he's doing his demo, and it's textbook. I mean, it's like, boom, he's saying the right things. He's doing the right thing. He's doing all the stuff. I mean, he could do a video on how to sell a Kirby vacuum cleaner. And what's crazy was when he got to the closing, you could feel and you could see that he was having a challenge. His words weren't as crisp. He wasn't as confident. His posture, his physiology, everything changed. And I watched him do 3 of these demonstrations, and I pulled him aside for dinner. I go, dude, what's going on with you? What's going on in your life? What is happening to you right now? And he started crying. And he started talking about, money's a problem where bills are building up, and I've got to sell these machines. My wife's threatening to leave me, and my kids are doing bad in school. I mean, his life was crumbling down, and he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to in his eyes, close the deal. And so through some coaching, through some guidance, and letting him vent a little bit, I finally just said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in this next demo, and I don't want you to give a crap. I want you to go in there, no expectation, do what you do. When it comes time to closing, in your mind, I want you to say, I don't care if you buy or not. Like, I literally want you to say that. Like, I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you like. And eventually he went on, and I watched him close or the next one, and he became one of the top 2 salespeople back in the office again. But it took somebody to identify and feel that, and that's what I'm able to do. And that's what a coach or a trained expert is able to do. So yes, it is very, very, very important. All the best coaches, all the best players in the world with regards to sports all have coaches, whether they be psychology coaches or whatever. We all have coaches. And so it's no different for humans to definitely have a coach.
Yeah, how can we detach? Because really that's ultimately what you were helping them do, is not worry about the results. I always say a 4-part thing, that selling is a calling, serving is its purpose, questioning is the process, and a sale may be the solution, right? It also may not be the solution. So, I mean, after decades of being in sales myself and 10 or 11, 12 years now in sales training, I'm cool with that, right? I can live that. But it is hard at first. You want the sale, you need the sale, but you really, it's just like golf, right? If you don't get all amped up, you can make that little 3-footer for $1 in bragging rights. But when you get amped up, you can't make a 1-footer because you're so worried about the results.
Yeah.
Can we detach? I mean, is it just the 10,000 hour rule? Do we just have to go do it over and over again to where we truly aren't worried about it?
Yeah, the best analogy you're giving, and for those people that don't play golf will never understand, but most people have swung a golf club or whatever. And what you're talking about is the sweet spot, right? So people will play a round of golf and they'll hit bad shot after bad shot. They'll laugh about it, whatever. And then they'll hit that one. And that one shot they hit where it's like, oh my gosh, that felt really good. I want to do that again. I want to duplicate that again. So if we use analogy in sales, right? And there are people that go, well, I'm not really a good salesperson. I think everybody on this planet, we are really, really, really good salespeople. If you've got a job, you are a good salesperson. You had to sell yourself above anybody else to get that job. If you are in a relationship, oh my God, you are a good, maybe a great salesman to get somebody to love you the way you are and commit to you. That and close the deal. Come on. So golf is like sales, very much so. You're going to hit those bad shots. You're not going to hit everyone perfect. One's going to be just a little bit off. The other one's going to be closer. The other one's going to be like, what the heck was that? How did I do that? It's out in the street somewhere. And then you're going to hit that one shot. And it's just practice. The reason why a golfer goes from an amateur to a pro is the amount of practice, the amount of attention, the amount of work that they're doing or the good that they're doing on a consistent basis. And eventually you get something that you settle in and you get to know your numbers. Jim Rohn used to say, hey, I'm in a business and 7 out of 10 people tell me no. I want you to be one of the 7 that tells me no. Because he knew his numbers. He knew that 3 would say yes out of 10. So if we know that, I don't care what you're selling. I have people tell me no about my business. I have people tell me no, they don't want to be coached by me. It's like I just keep that swing on plane, trying to hit the sweet spot. And when I do, then all those other ones, I can't even tell you all the people that told me no, because it's been hundreds of thousands of people have told me no on my path here to become successful. So it's part of the process, you guys. It's not everybody likes Fords. Not everybody likes Porsches. If you know that there's something that you don't like. Right now, there's something that we all don't like. So we just, that's part of life. Everybody's not going to love everything about you and everything that you're selling or offering. And you got to be okay with it because you're looking for that one that says yes or the 2 that says yes. Or if you get on a string and you've got 4, 5, 10 people saying yes, then hey, you're getting closer into honing in on something wonderful. People still tell me no today, which is, I go, okay, no problem. The timing's not good. You're not ready, whatever. I'm at peace with it. And because I know that the next person I'm going to talk to, I'm going to have an opportunity to serve them and change their life. And that's really all we're here to do is impact people's lives. And so I'm okay with that. So yes, it's easy to detach. You just got to be willing to go through the nose, don't take it personal, and know that it's part of your growth, and it's a part of you filling in that blind spot. And the more you do it, eventually you'll find something that works, and you'll duplicate that, and then you'll duplicate it, and then the next thing you know, you've got a system.
Dude, I told everybody leading up to this interview that you had hypnotic techniques and phrases that you could teach us to where 100% of people said yes. So go ahead and give us that now, okay? You already gave us the humble part, so yeah, stop that.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm taking notes. I'm double recording this.
This is like the most important thing that I've ever learned. And you can use this in relationships. You can use this when you're getting ready to go out to eat. You can use this when you're sitting down with a client and you're wanting to close them. The best question, you guys, the best question you can ask is, what's most important to you? Ooh. What's most important to you? You're going out to eat. Honey, what's most important to you? Well, I feel like Chinese. Perfect. Chinese it is, right? So, hey, what's most important to you with regards to looking at this house? Well, it's got to be close to a system or a school. It's got to be close to school because I want my kids walking. Is that the most important to you? Perfect. If I find you that house that's close to the school, it has all the other things you want to, right? But most importantly, it's close to the school. We good? Perfect. What is most important to you? It's never about me. It's not about me being a great hypnotist and a great entrepreneur. It's not about you, Wes, and your great sales background. It's like, what's most important to you? You. And once you address that, the sale is easy, you guys. The getting people to move and take action. When somebody joins my business or somebody wants coaching, the first thing I'm going to ask them, okay, what's most important to you? I need this. Are you sure? Is that it? I need it. People referred to it back in the day called a hot button. I like the question, what's most important to you? Listen, and what they tell you is what they want. And if you give them what they want, congratulations, you've got a bestie, a brand new bestie.
Yep, I always tell people, I mean, my approach is, I say, what are your top 3, right? Hey, Tony, thanks for coming out looking at homes with me. Let me ask you something. What are your top 3 non-negotiable criteria when choosing the home of your dreams? So basically the same thing. Top 1, top 3. If you can get them talking, and you can listen, they'll tell you exactly what it is they want to buy. And then you can just give it to them, right?
Yeah, the reason I go right for the juggler is because I want them to just open up and just go, you know what, we've looked at hundreds of homes, and this one had this, had a great fireplace, had this, or maybe they're looking at cars. What's most important to you when you buy this car? What is it? I like just going right there. And if that's what they want, if that's what they're feeling, then boom, guess what? You deliver that unto them. You just got a pay raise.
Money.
Yep.
All right, my brother. Well, I know that the FBI is getting close, and you got to fire up that RV and get going. Probably, using an RV as an escape vehicle is probably not the best. Okay, but that's going to be my one last bit of advice for you.
Yeah, but
okay.
But the good thing is I have different states that when I pull into a state or cross the border, they actually paint it for me. So I'm always in transition, different paint jobs, different, whatever stuff. It's good. I got it all mapped out. I'm very good at what I do.
So where do we send people? Where do people go to find out more about Tony Lucero?
I mean, the best thing is, so you can hear me talk about myself, which was very difficult to do. Just go to TonyLucero.com, Tony Lucero, LUCERO.com. And on there's just a little bit about me. There's some stuff that I do, and there's a cool little inspirational video on there for you that gets your morning pumped that I did. But it's a great place to connect, and I would love to have the opportunity to find out what's most important to you. And if I have that thing for you, I would love to be able to serve you and help you.
All right. Sounds good. I did watch that video this morning. Very good. And,
you seem more positive today than you usually are. What's going on with you? Did it really help you? Wow.
I think it was a video that I saw this morning. I'm going to go back and retrace my day and make sure I start every day the same way.
I love you, brother. It's great to hear your voice, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. And let's do something big together.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Tony Lucero, my friends. Thanks for coming on the Sales Podcast. It's been awesome. I hope you got a lot out of that. I've known Tony now at least 8 years, maybe 9 years, and he has always been this positive, this energetic, this entertaining. He's a smart dude, knows how to help you. So if that resonated with you, check him out. He's launching a new website, new coaching programs. He's just a good dude to emulate, right? See what he's doing, see what he's working on. And, success leaves clues. It really does. So be careful who you follow, who you allow into your mind to take up your time, especially online, right? Social media is a lot of whiners and complainers. There's a lot of fake people. You got to really look at people with great discernment. It's okay to keep the friends, but maybe unfollow them if there's just too much drama. And make room for people that can give you the influence and the inspiration that you need. If you need it on a more regular basis, if you need to invest in yourself to be held accountable, check out Make Every Sale, makeeverysale.com. I'll hold you accountable, and your fellow students and members will as well. With lifetime access and weekly calls and on-demand videos, I'm putting all of my new content and concepts into that platform. If you're a member now, you have lifetime access. And as I add things, they're just bonuses, right? Just new things I'll just keep adding in there. And I'll spin those off, right? Sell them separately. But the Make Every Sale members are going to get, that's my baby, right? So you're going to get the benefit of the doubts and the early bonuses as I roll out new programs. So check that out and enroll today, makeeverysale.com. Please leave a comment, leave a 5-star review, share this, invite your friends and family to listen, and as always, remember to sell different.